Hi guys, welcome back. It's Mrs. Peterson, that lady who teaches art, and today we are going to learn about the element of art called form. Before we begin, if you could write your first name, last initial, and then your class, which if you are in Mrs. Sefchuk's class would be 1S, or whatever class you're in, 1 and your teacher's, the first initial of your teacher's last name. That helps me when I'm sorting these back out. All right, like I said, we're going to talk about form. So if I think about the word form, it starts with F, and then I hear or, which is O-R, for, so M, form, F-O-R-M. And what does form mean? Form is just when something is three-dimensional. So it looks 3D. It looks like it's not flat. Okay, write those down on your paper. And then at the bottom down here, we are actually going to take something very flat, a circle. We draw a circle with me in the middle here. Very flat right now. And we're going to try to make it look three-dimensional. We're going to try to make it look like a ball, or we're going to call it our fancy word, which is sphere. Okay, so right now it looks like a white ball floating in a white room. And we want to make it look more like it's sitting down. So we're going to start with a horizon line. I'm going to turn my paper to the side and draw a line to the ball, and then I'm going to stop and pretend I go through it and then finish that line over here. Okay, so now it looks like a white ball sitting on a white table with a white wall behind it, and let's shade in behind that line, above that line, the wall back there. Students always ask me, what shade am I using? I'm just using a light gray. You'll notice I'm holding my pencil to the side like this because I don't want a lot of pressure on it. I can move a lot faster if I just hold my pencil to the side like this. I'm filling any missing spots. All right, so now it looks like a white ball sitting on a white table, and we are going to change things a little bit. So I would like you to put an arrow pointing from the top left, and we don't usually draw the light source in our drawings, but just for this little practice, we're going to pretend that that little arrow is a flashlight. So if my light is shining on the top left, it's going to be the lightest, the brightest up here in the left top of the sphere. The darkest is going to be down here on the right side. So something I see students do wrong is they'll either just put it right in the middle, or they'll do like a straight line across. So I want you to watch what I'm doing instead. I'm going to turn my paper because I'm right-handed, and I'm going to make a little sliver that looks like a smile. It's thicker in the middle, and then there's like curved up on the corners. And inside that little sliver, I'm going to color as dark as I can with my pencil, without ripping my pencil or breaking my paper. Excuse me, without ripping my paper or breaking my pencil. Okay, so there's my black. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to twist my paper back, and I'm going to give myself a line that comes across. And then inside that shade, instead of going black, I'm going to go dark gray. So I'm still pushing pretty hard, but it should be lighter than I did before. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. This time I want my line to be pretty light. I'm still curving my line around. And in there, I'm going to go like a middle gray. Definitely not pushing as hard, leaving a little more white space. And I have 3 shades: black, dark gray, and my middle gray. All right, now the next part's weird. Everybody say, this is weird. We're gonna do something different. Where this light is shining, I'm gonna use the side of that sphere, and I'm gonna make myself a very light oval. Would you make yourself a light oval using the side of the ball and then coming around? Outside of that oval, I'm gonna color really lightly with just some little dashy lines, leaving lots of white space. That's going to be my light gray, and then inside is going to stay white inside that oval. That's going to be my highlight. Okay. All right. So our sphere looks a lot more three-dimensional now, but we still need our shadow. And we've talked about our shadow mimics, kind of copies, but a little bit not the same. If I said, today's going to be a great class, or if I said, oh, today is going to be a great class, I'm saying the same words, but it's not quite the same message. So the same thing happens to our shadow. It mimics our shape. It's going to make an oval instead of a circle. And if my light is on the top left, my oval is going to go off to the bottom right. Okay, so give yourself an oval that touches about the center of your circle, maybe a little bit past the center, and then makes an oval. And inside that, I'm going to use scumbling. Scumbling is little circles. They're going to be darkest right up next to the sphere. And then they're going to get lighter as they come away from the sphere. All right, you guys, we have 2 steps left. And the first one is blending. When I blend, I'm going to use a cotton Q-tip like this. Some students are afraid to use the ones that already have some graphite on there. I'm not scared of that at all. I actually like these better. And you're going to start with your lightest spot, but not white. So I'm not going to blend anything in the highlight because we want that to stay white. And I'm not going to blend anything on the table except the shadow when I get there. I'm going to start with this lightest part of my ball. Look at how that blending looks so nice when it gets blended. I'm going to go to the middle gray on my ball, and then I think I'm going to go do my background, my wall back here. When I blend, I want my blending stick to move in the same direction that I created the line. So my lines were slanted like this. So I'm going to move my blending stick like that. Twist my blending stick around if I need to. And then I'm going to go back to my ball, that dark gray. We don't want to blend too much our black because then sometimes our black goes away and I can blend in my shadow. I do little circles when I'm blending my shadow. All right, the last step, you guys, is going to be to use our eraser. And sometimes we forget that as students when we're drawing. We think, oh, I'm just using my pencil. But your eraser can be a really helpful tool too. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to erase anywhere where I got out of the line so that this looks like a nice finished drawing. And my most important thing to erase is my highlight. I want that to be really white. All right, you guys, when you've done that, you've taken a very flat circle and made it look a lot more 3D. All right, I can't wait to see what you create.